Clips, clips.
Man's gotta do what a man's gotta do. People say it, so it's true. And if they diss me, I'll fucking sue. Man's gotta do what a man's gotta do. Man's gotta do what a man's gotta do. People say it, so it's true. And if they diss me, I'll fucking sue. Man's gotta do what a man's gotta do.
Clips, clips.
Alrighty, YouTube's another one of Kip's Clips. Welcome to the World Info War News at 1 live, Monday to Friday at 1 o'clock, always. Unless I've got something better to do, to be honest, and we should all have something better to do than hang around the internet every once in a while, eh? It's worthwhile. Hope you've all had a good weekend, and welcome to the Island of Independence of Houstonia. Founding father of 3 years strong, 0 wars, because war is over in Houstonia. So, it's always worthwhile to have an island of independence as the World Info War rages on. If it's not UK, call them. Boo, 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 boo. Some info bullets into your nut. Or the BBC. Boo, 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 boo. Some info bullets into your nut. Or RT. Boo, boo, boo. I'm hitting footballs at you right now. I hate to say I predicted it, but I predicted it. RT's just RT Light for the month of the World Cup. Anyway, welcome one and all. So, Europe's threatening Trump in the US with new tariffs. That's because there's a trade war, tariff war, currency war, world war going on right now. I know some people might say no, but nah, look what's going on around you. Wow, man, people are heavily fucking propagandised left, right and centre. Indoctrinated into cults. If it's not the Truther cult, it's the cult of Tommy Robinson. If it's not that cult, it's fucking info whore cult. Everybody's got a wee cult leader somewhere. Max Egan, everybody fucking... I can't deal with shit. He's going to tell me what I need to know. And it's not... In my humble opinion, it's not doing anybody any favours. People are getting wound up to the extent where they're acting crazy. Free speech! Don't say anything bad about Tommy, I'm going to kick your fucking head down! Aye, Islam's a fucking religion of peace, innit? I mean, so, welcome one and all. Hopefully you've all had a good weekend. I know I did. I was naked in a fucking field. Got to be done, man. Sun on your back, chest actually, both, and the grass in between your ass. Beautiful, absolute beautiful. And there's my pen. So welcome one and all. We'll be doing a triple prong attack against the info war that's raging on all around us. We'll be looking at the RTs, looking at the BBCs, and I don't know what's happening with the UK column. I think they're having a day off today. I don't know what's happening with the UK column. They don't appear to be putting on their afternoon show today. Which is, I don't know, I love what, I really enjoy dissecting the UK column. Their hypocrisies, double standards, propaganda. It's as clear as the nose on my face. And the propaganda that's on the BBC as well. Just so for me, anyway, you see the patterns, the talking points, the everybody's independent but saying the same shit, bull crap. You can also see like the UKIP jizz round their mouth. If you look very closely at Brian Gerrish, you can see Nigel Farage's jizz marks. I kid you not, just ask Dallas Goldberg, pause it and zoom in. So welcome one and all. Before we batter in to these info whore warriors, the soldiers of the info war. I'll say hi everybody in the chat. Patrick, how you doing? Cardini, how you doing, my man? Lopsum in the afternoon, guys. Blazins in there as well. Vadum, how yous all doing? And Roberto Carlos in the afternoon. One and all. So, I think we'll start with Russia today. It's just going to be football, football, football.
Day 3 of the FIFA World Cup knockout stages sees tournament favourites Brazil meet Mexico. And these are the Mexican fans in Samara in the sweltering Russian summer sun awaiting that match, which kicks off in 2 hours from now. Later tonight, underdogs Japan take on Belgium. Russia sends Spain packing after a nail-biting penalty shootout that sees the host nation through to the World Cup quarter-finals. And it's been a night of celebrations as fan zones across Russia went into carnival frenzy after that victory.
Is that Sky Sports? Right. I love the football, I'm watching it and all that, but see when at RT that's been telling you, the banks are bad, this is bad, for ages, and then all of a sudden, just like that, their whole agenda changes. Now, I'm not naive, I stated it, what they're doing is laying off the propaganda to grease the wheels for a successful World Cup, and during that time they're going light in the propaganda war, but the propaganda they're still spewing out, well, it's the opposite of the kind of propaganda you get in the UK press, for example, about the World Cup. There's hooligans, don't go there, it's scary, ooga booga booga booga. And RT counter that. It's like, remember in Ghostbusters they said never to cross streams? I think the way people are acting is what happens when propagandists cross streams. Right, hold on.
Away from the football, Germany's coalition government hangs in the balance as the Interior Minister, a key ally of...
Oh, weird. The German agenda? Now, let me get this straight. Russia Today, on their English-speaking network, is now putting out propaganda to sway the political discord, the political landscape in Germany.
Chancellor Merkel says he's ready to quit over immigration policy.
Immigration. You get Germany, the German agenda, and immigration. Now, I think it's about time that people need to start sort of asking themselves this kind of very simple question. Who's benefiting, politically speaking, from the floodgates of brown people and boats coming into Europe, the UK, or the perception of that? Right, I know it's happening, I ain't stupid. Right, now, I'm not going to give you the answer, just ask yourself that question. Who is benefiting? Who is using the brown people and boats to push their political agenda? UK and America, but it's the brown people from Mexico, innit? Austria, Hungary, Germany, Sweden, France, Netherlands. All these countries in the last year or two have held elections, and the political landscape, the political pendulum has just swung completely in the direction. The political pendulum has swung in the direction to favour the people who are using the old trick of the barbarians are at the door. They're coming to shag our women. Look at them, it's all their fault. And you can't really, I'm trying my hardest, you can't really hold it against people that fall for that trick. It's a very cleverly crafted way of tickling people's balls and vaginas that's been tried and tested since time immemorial. Can you ever remember, speaking about history earlier on, you remember your history class in school when they pointed at the propaganda from World War I and World War II? I think one of them was like a picture of a big fucking monkey wearing a German hat, and I think it had a club and like fucking an American woman or a British woman in another hand. It's that all over again. Is the exact same shit. Anyway, so there's German agenda and immigration agenda. Now, very funny is I keep all my show notes, if you want to call it that, all nicely organised and stuff, right? Now, if you, that's been 3 years I've been doing not the InfoWars Nightly News, and if you go in that, well, maybe I'll do it one time, and I'll show you the clear pattern of the same shite coming up time and time and time and time again through all these independent internet journalists. And you can see the clear agenda. For example, right, well, there was that one, right? What was it? Did I have the German agenda? The German agenda, the Swedish agenda, the South African agenda. I just watch this all the same shit. In New Flanders, that was maybe Ned Flanders, but anyway, I can't spell or for fuck, and I don't really care. Tick and UKIP. I mean, it's all there for you. But anyway, let's get back to Sky Sports Russia style.
Hi, welcome to the start of a new week here on RT International. I'm Colin Bray in Moscow.
Being held by
football.
Keep it. Anguish, pain, anger.
Football.
On their faces. Now, their team did set a new World Cup record, though, for the most successful.
Right, there you go. 15 minutes of pure pish from RT. Remember when they were a truther channel? Now they're Sky Sports. Bit strange that, isn't it? Anyway, let's see what the BBCs are telling us today. Have a double check on the UK column as well. See if their things are ongoing. Nope. Back in the room with a doom.
Theresa May tries to break the Brexit deadlock with a new plan for customs arrangements with the EU. It comes amid fresh infighting in the Conservative Party. Brexiteer MPs warn the Prime Minister against any backsliding. Well, we'll have the very latest from Westminster as ministers prepare for a crucial cabinet meeting on Brexit later this week. Also this lunchtime. Firefighters say it could take them weeks to deal with the moorland blazes in Greater Manchester and Lancashire. As the heat wave continues, warnings the hosepipe ban in Northern Ireland could be extended to parts of England. Running out of road. Campaigners say rural bus services are in.
I kind of understand it, but it makes your head, see if you like, think about what they're saying rather than just blindly accept it. the hosepipe ban in Northern Ireland, kind of different island, right? Shh, don't tell anybody in Northern Ireland that. They're British, of course, not Irish. It's now getting extended to England. Now, I understand exactly what they mean. There's going to be a hosepipe ban put into England, right? I understand exactly. I'm not that naive. But it's like they don't share the same reservoirs. Anyway, just being
in crisis.
I'm live at Wimbledon as play gets underway at the start of the.
Oh man, Andy Murray's no there!
With Her Royal Highness the Duchess of Kent.
And England's World Cup squad set off for their day of destiny with Colombia.
Fuck off.
Should be is one of the big questions facing those negotiating Brexit. But the possible answers to that question have split the government.
Up to now, two options have been on the table. One, a close customs partnership after Brexit. The other, a looser arrangement that would rely on technology to minimise border checks. Both, though, have the cabinet bitterly divided over which would be best. And so now, Number 10 is considering a renewed proposal in the hope of uniting ministers.
It's not yet clear what the details of that proposal will be. But, writing in the Telegraph this morning, Brexiteer Jacob Rees-Mogg said that Theresa...
Another pattern to look out for. Look who's pushing all this Brexit, immigration shite, and then ask yourself the question, have you been propagandised by the internet to start supporting neoconservatism in the UK, and Sweden, and fucking Germany, and America? I know I was, man. I know I was all deep in that shit, man, thinking UKIP was the Freedom Party and all that bullcrap. I mean, I don't know. I ain't excluding myself from being brainwashed by the internet at some point, because I thought, the internet just tells you the truth. The TV lies to you, the newspapers, the radio lie, but Alex Jones told me the internet tells the truth, and I believe him. Anyway.
May must stand firm.
Go and look at what school he went to.
For what she herself has promised, warning many MPs may vote against a deal that restricts the country's ability to make trade agreements. Government ministers.
These are the people who are working hand in glove with the truther industrial complex to push their politics. They are not working class. They're not men of the fucking people. They are the fucking aristocracy of the British fucking Empire.
Minister Sir Alan Duncan, who backed Remain at the referendum, hit back on Twitter, accusing Jacob Rees-Mogg of insolence and of threatening the Prime Minister. That sentiment not shared by Brexiteers.
I do think that it's fair to point out that the government has made very firm commitments in respect of those three issues, Single Market, Customs Union and the European Court of Justice. That was a contract that we did make with the electorate, and I think that as a government we have to abide by that.
At the end of this week, the Cabinet will meet at Chequers, the Prime Minister's country retreat, to try to find a proposal they can all agree on. Ministers admit.
Oh, if those walls could talk. If those walls could talk. I hope I'm not having a brain fart here. Pretty sure it was Chequers. Pretty sure it was Chequers is where Margaret Thatcher and Jimmy Savile used to spend New Year together, exchanging secrets so that Margaret Thatcher could use who's shagging little boys and girls as political capital. I don't know, just a stab in the dark. It's a bit fishy that our Prime Minister spent consecutive numerous New Year's, I think it was, New Year's, hanging out with Jimmy Savile. Anybody want to talk about that? Nah.
It won't be an easy day.
The Muslims are coming to shag your women! Paedophile grooming gangs!
Clearly there are some very difficult and important decisions that need to be made, not least on the customs arrangements. That's what this meeting of the Cabinet at Chequers is about at the end of this week, and I'm sure at the end of that the Cabinet will get behind a solution, and that's what we'll be seeking to secure through the deal.
It might prove difficult, but getting something agreed by her Cabinet should be the easy part. The Prime Minister's next challenge will be persuading EU leaders that the proposal is something they too can accept. Tom Barton, BBC News, Westminster.
Well, let's get the thoughts of our assistant political editor, Norman Smith, who's at Westminster. Norman, so Theresa May seems to have come up with a new customs plan, a new model. Can she sell it to her party, is the question.
Well, it's an almighty big ask, Ben, but really she has no options, because the two customs plans which she floated back in August looked pretty much dead in the water after one was pretty much kiboshed by the Brexiteers and the other kiboshed by former Remainers. So now Downing Street is floating at the last minute, really, a third way. We don't have the details.
Can that guy get any bluer? I mean, he's literally the colour of the sky. I think he's trying to camouflage himself as
details of it. All Number 10 will say is
sky.
There's a lot of speculation about some of it may be true. So let me give you my tuppence worth of speculation, and that is, it could be a sort of hope.
Wow, wee man, there's the BBC News doing journalism. This is a BBC journalist, right? This is no more fucking different than Sargon of Mossad, Count Spunkula, Tommy Bobinson trying to pass themselves off as journalists. How the fuck can you pretend to be a journalist and then just bounce into the realms of speculation? You know, the whole idea of being a journalist is to confirm things using different sources and then report what you know to be true. But nah, fuck that. Hell, the sky could fall, but I could actually squeeze Brexit out my arse and the Illuminati is under my desk. I mean, how the... Oh, God, it's mind-blowing. See, I don't know, 20, 30, 40 years ago, like, journalists that went to journalism school, I'm sure there's a journalism school, this isn't journalism! Anyway, let's hear his speculation.
Hokey-cokey arrangement where we're...
Hokey cokey, hokey cokey! He's talking about speculating about Brexit, and now he's doing the hokey cokey.
Half in, half out of the EU's customs arrangements, where we abide by EU rules when it comes to goods but not services, thereby meeting the concerns of Remainers who want frictionless trade for British manufacturers, and meeting the aspirations of Brexiteers who want to be able to strike our own trade deals. But even if that manages to bind both sides together, and frankly you have to say it's an almighty big if, then the question is, will Brussels buy it?
Brexit has been boiled down to... people aren't even discussing what the people in the UK were propagandised to vote for in the way of Brexit. The memes, the feeling that we were all a lot of us were propagandised with leading up to Brexit was returning sovereignty, make our own rules up, not make our own rules up, the ability to make decisions regarding everything sovereign to the United Kingdom back here into the UK. That's pretty... It wasn't about money, it wasn't about trade, it wasn't about customs. They're irrelevant fucking side arguments. Just tell the European Union and all their institutions who have authority in the UK to fuck off. Not Nigel Farage isn't even talking about that anymore. It's all been off. Many turds in the punch bowl. Nobody's actually talking about the original turd.
And the risk, I think, is that Brussels may well view this as a variation on that well-established British pastime of cherry picking, otherwise known as having your gatto and monging it.
All right, Norman, many thanks. Norman Smith. Firefighters say it could take them weeks to deal with the flames on moorland across Lancashire and Greater Manchester. Fire crews from across the country are now working around the clock tackling a blaze on Winter Hill near Bolton, and they're still trying to keep under control fires on land near Staley Bridge. Meanwhile, a grassland fire is also burning on the Staffordshire moorlands. Danny Savage is on Winter Hill for us this afternoon. Danny.
Yeah, Ben, this is the coordination point really for Lancashire Fire and Rescue, and you can see all sorts of different...
Yeah, let's hope.
Just gone up with a big water bowser on the back, several fire engines. Their activities are being coordinated from here. Fires up on the hill behind us, still a lot of smoke drifting over parts of Lancashire on the easterly wind being blown westwards. This fire here now is on a par in size.
Something very strange going on with Windows 10 recently, isn't it? I don't know if anybody rocks Windows 10. It's doing all sorts of bizarre shit to me now. I'm very close to going back to Windows 7.
But the one on Saddleworth last week, meaning that many square miles
Brexit,
of moorland around Manchester and Bolton
and then
and the general
fire
area has gone up.
Doctors will want institutions in various parts of the country and the drug cartels. I'm thinking local mayors, local police officers, the close...
And Will Grant joins us live now from Mexico City. So, Will, a comfortable victory for the new president, but he faces some really tough challenges, not least relations with Donald Trump's White House.
That's right, Ben. Huge challenges both at home and abroad. I mean, domestically, his main idea is that he wants to unpick and break this corruption problem that exists in Mexico, sort of split the close relationship between state institutions in various parts of the country and the drug cartels. I'm thinking local mayors, local police officers in many parts of Mexico who often are part of the drug cartels. They're not just associated with them. That's going to be very difficult And as you rightly point out, of course, internationally, he's going to have to work with Donald Trump at a time when relationships are probably at their lowest ebb in modern Mexican history. They may get on in certain areas, funnily enough. They do coincide in some issues, particularly the redrafting of the North American Free Trade Agreement. But let's think about it. Immigration, the drug trafficking, the border wall, which you mentioned, all of those things are pretty likely to cause those two men to...
It's crazy, everything they mentioned there that's on the agenda of not only Trump, but the new Mexican Prime Minister, President, not sure, is pretty much all the talking points of the Truther Industrial Complex. It's been winding us all up about for years.
Butt heads.
All right, Will, thank you very much indeed. Will Grant there in Mexico City. As the hot weather continues across much of the UK, customers in the northwest of England have been warned to use water sparingly.
Are kept in supply. Not growing, and farmers have had now to start to supplement the grass with winter fodder.
With the idyllic weather forecast.
Northern Ireland.
9th title at the All England Club, and Serena.
It's crazy, see if you watch the BBC, bit of snow, and this fucking whole country grinds to a fucking halt. Bit of sun, fucking whole country grinds to a fucking halt. What is going on? Who is meant to be managing this pish? They ain't doing a good job.
Williams, who was heavily pregnant,
made his tennis. Andy Murray's out.
And I feel like one's
doing a wonderful job. Mike Tyson
of
in a wig.
So the stage is set, and
after being I don't understand.
Frightened?
Terrified, yeah.
You never looked nervous.
I think once you've got to have feet on, a natural reaction.
Jan on the bot in her first tennis pish.
The picture outside. The government must wake up to the crisis hitting local services before it's too late.
The solution is to have proper funding and for the government to have a national coach investment strategy. It's the only mode of transport that doesn't currently have one. More people travel by bus, for example, than by rail, and that already has a national strategy.
The government says it's given local councils extra powers to work with bus companies to bridge the funding gap. But it's more money, not power, that councils say they need to keep routes
more
open.
Problems,
Victoria Fritz,
more money,
BBC News.
more money, more problems, more problems, more money, more money, more problems.
A new NHS mobile phone app designed to put patients in contact with their GPs. The Health Secretary, Jeremy Hunt, says the app will be available from December to everyone in England. Here's our technology correspondent, Rory Kathleen-Jones.
At this Manchester surgery,
structures both here.
Now comes Brazil against Mexico.
In football.
Those cats and...
Wow, man, it's like... all news, or even the BBC's like fucking ramping it all down, innit? Brexit, fire, Mexico. Pretty much what you got there. Brexit, fire, Mexico, then turned into Sky Sports. Let's see what RT is saying to it now.
Give it a look. It's guaranteed to cheer up your Monday. You can follow all the thrills and spills of the World Cup 2018 right here on RT, on air and online.
We have to convince and persuade those Americans who are manipulated by Donald Trump's campaign of United States first, or America first. That's a fallacy. It's nonsense that actually...
More now on the man who's set to take power.
And
talking about the same things.
Andrés Manuel López Obrador, or AMLO for short, the new and somewhat colorful president of Mexico. A real underdog whose party, Morena, ended almost a century of rule by two of Mexico's dominant political parties. Not bad, huh? And as is fashionable these days, often justifiably, AMLO ain't exactly a fan of Trump.
We have to convince and persuade those Americans who are manipulated by Donald Trump's campaign of United States first, or America first. That's a fallacy. It's nonsense that actually goes above the national limits of universal justice and fraternity.
Now, when I say not a fan, I mean he really doesn't like Trump. Even wrote a book about it called Oye Trump.
I'm sure when this guy was a little boy, He was in Austin Powers as Mini-Me. I'm sure that's who it was.
Oh, listen, Trump. Of course, you can't have a proper election nowadays without a little the old Russian meddling, or at least someone complaining about it.
Now, RT mocking the fact that Russia never interferes in other people's elections. Oh, no, 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 no. Then if you actually go and watch the... fuck, it was at Chatham House. It was a Q&A. And there was Russian... there was pro-Russian Federation people on the board or the panel. And there was also Russian press in the press corps or whatever you want to call it, asking questions and stuff. And they didn't deny it. They do not deny trying to influence other people's elections for the benefit of Russia. As soon as you go above the intellectual limit of like Russia Today, who raps the music to you to make it sink in a wee bit quicker, nobody in their right mind thinks that Russia isn't trying to affect other people's elections. And when you hear people just mocking it and laughing and go, Mark Dice, I'm a Russian bot, t-shirts and shit, they're either naive, ignorant, or running with the propaganda from head office.
Actually, initial signs of it in the Mexican presidential campaign already. There's an aspect where we want to confront destabilizing behavior with Russia.
We know that Russia has fingerprints in a number of elections around the world. My advice would be to Mexico would be pay attention. Pay attention to what's happening.
Even in Mexico. And AMLO, to his credit, found it really funny.
I'm just here watching the weather, waiting for the Russian submarine to come, with my people and with gold from Moscow.
His supporters even made a jacket for him with the word Manuelovich on it. Get it? Andrei Manuelovich? It sounds kind of Russian. To his credit, he even wore it. Be it his dislike of Trump, his sense of humor, or whatever else, he swept the election. Preliminary results, he got more than half the vote. His rivals eating the dust. To be fair, he's had some practice. It's his third attempt at...
His rivals eating the dust. That's why you can tell this guy doesn't speak English and he's not.
Presidency. Bit of a sore loser, though. When he lost the election in 2006, he staged a fake inauguration party for himself. Never mind that. Good practice for the real thing. Congratulations, Mr. Manuelovich. Vladimir Putin sends his regards.
Next up, the German Interior Minister is threatening to resign amid a growing divide with Chancellor Angela Merkel over immigrant policies. Horst Seehofer has pushed for a tougher stance on asylum seekers, and German media suggest he wasn't swayed by a recent deal struck by the EU to try and solve the migrant crisis.
I've said.
In fact,
German
resigns,
agenda.
this will see a breakup of these.
Stay on power.
On Friday, EU leaders thought they'd sorted this.
$220 million on one player.
Rating agencies, the government.
Structure the government of Ukraine.
No, exactly.
So there you have it. Let's see if the UK column did kick in. Maybe they're a way to try and think how they can try and fool more people into voting for UKIP. Nah, they didn't. They didn't turn up today. Maybe the British Constitution Group isn't letting them operate out of their offices, which is the British Constitution Group, a limited company. You can't make that shit up. So thanks for joining, everybody. Just a double prong attack today because the UK column didn't show up. I will be back again tomorrow as always for another World Info War News. If you appreciate it, make sure you thumbs it up. Share it with your friends and family and foes. Help the show and the channel grow. There's no longer any cross promotion, so I rely on you guys and girls to try and propagate the channel. If you get any value and you appreciate what I do, there's a Patreon and PayPal buttons down below as well. Mega thanks to everybody that uses it. It's digital busking. Everything's available and accessible free of charge. I hope to do such a good job that you think it's valuable and you consider throwing in some of your spare change, not your life savings. And there's a Patreon and PayPal buttons down below. I'll be back again tomorrow afternoon for another World Infowar News at 1 live, and then in the evening it will be not the Infowars Nightly News, as always on a Tuesday evening, and we'll be talking about the Truther Industrial Complex's takeover of UKIP. Now, again, if you, I don't know, try and analyse it a wee bit more in depth, consider that the people on the internet that have wound us up and sent us off full of fucking energy in one particular direction. That direction is anti-immigrant, vote UKIP, civil disobedience, and we're now witnessing some crazy ass shit happening in the streets with people taking the law into their own hands. I don't know. It's do people want to stay in a country? And if people want to stay in a country like that, we'll fucking go and do it. But do people honestly want to stay in a country or a society where mob rule? You can't get a fair trial. You can't get both sides heard. And literally people are just taking the fucking law into their own hands and going smashing people up and smashing businesses up and all sorts of shit. And who knows if these people are genuine paedophiles and people are going to act like that. But it's crazy to see people running around and taking the law into their own hands, and it's getting propagated by the likes of Tommy Robinson and whatnot. So thanks for joining one and all. There's Chinny18, Roberto Carlos, Lopson, Odin, Roberto Carlos, Stewie, how you doing? Charlotte in the afternoon, Charlotte, thanks for joining. JC, Chinny, Roberto, Charlotte, Lopsum, Blazing, how you doing, my man? Moonfest Madness, how you doing, buddy? Jan Smith in the house as well in the afternoon, one and all. Hopefully I managed to say hi to you all. There's Adrian in as well. Lopsam, Mick Vicar, how you doing, my man? Cardini, Vadum in the afternoon, one and all. Hopefully the artist formerly known as Tony, how you doing, my man? Patrick Little in the afternoon. Vadum, Patrick, Roberto Carlos. So thanks for joining, one and all. I will catch yous back here again tomorrow. Have a good afternoon, everybody. Catchies.
Cips clips. Man's gotta do what a man's gotta do. People say it, so it's true. And if they diss me, I'll fucking sue. Man's gotta do what a man's gotta do what a man's gotta do. People say it, so it's true. And if they diss me, I'll fucking sue. Man's gotta do what a man's gotta do. Cips clips.